Well, hello, welcome everyone. We're live. It's me, Phil, here in the Digital DJ Tips broom cupboard for your Thursday Q&A live. This is where here at Digital DJ Tips, we just make ourselves available for a whole hour live on YouTube, on Twitch and on Mixcloud, maybe. We're definitely on YouTube, Twitch and also Facebook. And the reason I leave Facebook to last is not because it's least. In fact, Facebook is the best place to join us for these on the Digital DJ Tips Facebook page, which is at facebook.com/Digital DJ Tips. If you haven't been there before. And the reason for that is that we ask you to ask questions live, and you can do that underneath. You can do that on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook or anything, but I can't answer them all live in the hour because we get hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. So the point about asking them on Facebook is they stay there afterwards, so we can continue to answer your questions in the comments under, whereas the live chat comments on YouTube and Twitch are gone forever. So if you can, get over to Facebook to watch this and the Tuesday tips version of this as well, because we can help you the most that way. So preferring Facebook, but welcome if you're on Twitch, welcome if you're on YouTube as well. As always, we are completely live and we're completely open to any questions that you want to ask. It's not scripted, it's not rehearsed, but please do put the hashtag ask, hashtag ASK. So hashtag ask for your questions so I can sort them out from all the goodwill and greetings and all the other lovely stuff that you post in the comments. So if you don't know who we are, very quickly, Digital DJ Tips, the people behind Rock the Dance Floor, the #1 selling book on how to DJ on Amazon. Also the people behind the Digital DJ Tips website, which you may well know because we are the biggest DJ website out there to help people become better DJs and better DJ producers. And also the people behind the review videos and show reports and all that other stuff you might find online from us. And of course, the 25 DJ courses that we have made. And I've actually got some big news for you today. Those of you that follow Digital DJ Tips will know that we recently announced a DJ course that we are in the middle of making with DJ Jazzy Jeff. Probably the most loved DJ in the world, right? And we are, we've been working on this one for many, many months, but guess what? Bang! COVID stopped us going to the States to finish some of the work we're doing with Jeff, and we've not been able to get there. And finally, today we booked our flights to get back to the US because it's opening up again to people from Europe. And so we'll be able to go and finish the filming with Jeff in November. And we're very, very excited about that. So the Jeff course is looking all on course to happen, and we couldn't be more excited. I mean, what a great thing to be doing, making a course. Jeff's always wanted to make a DJ course, but he was waiting for the right partner, and it's us. So to celebrate that, we've got something for you. So if you were to go to Digital DJ Tips, and I thoroughly recommend you do, to our website, you will see down in the far right hand corner, win a one-on-one DJ lesson with Jazzy Jeff. Yes, you heard that correctly. Not only one, but we've got more than one DJ lesson. He's going to give 3 lucky Digital DJ Tips subscribers a chance to have a one-on-one DJ lesson with him and a free copy of the course when it is released. So if you'd like a free copy of DJ Jazzy Jeff's How to DJ Right and an exclusive one-on-one DJ lesson with Jeff, just simply go to the Digital DJ Tips website and click on the flashing yellow advert down in that bottom right hand corner and go to that page and enter the competition. It's going to be open until the end of this year, till the 31st of December. But get your entries in and you could be one of the people that wins a lesson with Jazzy Jeff. It's the kind of thing that money just can't buy, people. So do get your entry in. Right, so let's get going on your questions. Hashtag ask, hashtag ASK, please. If you have a question to ask. We always ask you to hit the share button if you find value today. But if you're not a member of Digital DJ Tips and you find value today, go there. djtips.co/join. We'll give you a copy of the book to become our latest member, and we'll also then be able to let you know about all the exciting stuff that goes on here at Digital DJ Tips, including giving you our Tuesday tips email every week, which is the best way to improve your DJing and your DJ production, because it's packed full of stuff to do, tutorials, free lessons, and lots of other useful stuff if you're trying to learn to DJ. So do become our latest member if you're not one, djtips.co/join. That is the #1 thing we'd like you to do. If if you enjoy this live lesson. So before we go any further, before we get to our live comments, I just want to say a few hellos to our regulars. Hi to X-Koza, who says, good day, mate. Hope you're having a good one. To GM and John, to You Don't Like My Music, ahoy. To up-and-coming DJ Paul McCartney in Ireland, hello. To Norbert and Q-Point and Caster Technobeat over there in the Philippines. Papa D, who's saying, autumn has no effect here in Miami. It's still hot and sticky. I've been in Miami at Christmas and it's still been hot and sticky, Papa D. So that's the tropics for you. Hello to everyone else as well who's saying hello. Right, so our first live question from up-and-coming Irish DJ Paul McCartney. How do you sell yourself to get your first gig? I've been trying for a while in local pubs and bars. You go to these places and you get to know the people who work there and the people who can give you the gigs. There's no other way, because people only book DJs that they know and like. And so you're not going to be booked by anyone who doesn't know you and who doesn't like you. And the only way to become known and liked is to frequent the places you want to DJ. I always tell the story, and I've got lots and lots of them, but the story of when I decided to stop DJing for a full-time professional career and start Digital DJ Tips, do something different. We actually decided to take that breather, that gap in our lives, to leave where I was a DJ, Manchester, England, and to move to where I live now in the Mediterranean, where it's, you know, Ibiza and all that. It's what I've loved all my life, the Mediterranean vibe and the long hot summer nights and the sea and all that. So we moved down into the south of Spain at that point in our lives, and I started Digital DJ Tips. But I missed DJing. I did miss my DJing. So I got to know the people in a local beach bar, and the beach bar was a lovely place. It still is. I was actually there last Sunday having a meal with the family. It's 10 years on now. But the beach bar is a lovely place and I wanted to DJ there, but they didn't know me. I didn't know them. There's no way they were going to let me have one of their DJ slots just out of the blue. So we started going there and we started paying to eat there and spending our money there, and I started to get to know the people who turned out to be Dutch, the owners of the place, and asking about DJing, telling them I was a DJ, explaining what I did, and in a social concept, not in a like, I want a gig here. And then one day I said to them, listen, I want to put a party on here on a Sunday night. I've got it's Halloween coming up. I want to do a Halloween fancy dress party. It's kind of private for me and my friends. I don't expect you to do anything, but just let me get behind the decks and play some music, and I'll bring a crowd. And they're like, yeah, okay. So we did. We brought all our friends and we called it a fancy dress Halloween party. And I DJ'd in a full head to toe Scooby-Doo outfit. They called me DJ Scooby for years after that. And I played a set. And they were like, I always remember Stefan, hi Stefan, good friend of mine now, sitting behind the bar, nodding to his business partner, Erwin, hello Erwin, saying, Scooby's all right, isn't he? And I thought, job done. And then the next week, I said, hey, dudes, how about I do some DJing for you? I really enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? And they're like, yeah, man, it was cool. And then I got the gig and I've played there on and off ever since. So you've got to get in with the people in the venues where you want to play. You can't just give mixtapes. You can't just, do a numbers game and go around town talking to 100 people and thinking, well, if I talk to 100, 50 will get back to me. Maybe 20 will talk to me properly. Maybe 10 will listen to my mixtape and maybe one of those will give me a gig. It doesn't work like that because none of them know you. So pick your venue, make your plan, get to know the people. And as soon as you're known and liked, that's when you can start asking for gigs. And it took me months. It will take you months as well. Thanks for the question, Paul. So the Bisco Kid says, I'm having an issue streaming with DJ MREC and Twitch. It says I'm live, but there's nothing on my Twitch page. Could this be an internet issue? I've never had an issue with Instagram or Facebook. So I've got no idea there, unfortunately. DJ MREC is a Pioneer DJ app. What I would do is try to use a different app on your phone and see if it's to do with their app or to do with Twitch. So you can get lots of apps for your phone that will let you go live. And so just get another app and put your Twitch RTMP server and key in there and try and go live to Twitch from a different app. So then at least you can figure out whether it's the app or Twitch that's the issue and take it from there. The Bisco Kid. If you joined us late, welcome. It's me, Phil, here in the Digital DJ Tips Broom Cupboard, doing the weekly Thursday Q&A live. Any DJ questions, hashtag ask, hashtag ASK in the comments wherever you are. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Best place to do it is on Facebook though, because your comments remain there afterwards and my team can get to you and answer your questions if I don't get to do it live because we run out of time. Please do not cut and paste your questions over and over again. If I see that happening, I will not answer them. Mugan05 says, I recently got a Zone 92 mixer, lucky person, to pair with my XDJ 1000s. What is the role of a sound card in a setup like this? Or is the sound card only needed with a tractor setup? It depends how you're setting them up. So the XDJ 1000s are going to be used presumably with Pioneer DJ's record box. You're going to export music to your USB drive and you're going to use them with record box, quite in the same way that the controller we had on our opening shot, the record box controller here, is exactly that. So you're going to get your USB drive and you're going to plug it in. There's a USB drive that I've got plugged into this one. Try and get it into camera shot. Trying to figure out where the camera is. There we go. There's a USB drive there. So I plug this in to this unit. This has got my music on it, and that's it. So then in that instance, you're not going to need to have a sound card or anything, because the units are going to output music based upon the music they take off your USB drives. So what you are probably going to want to do is to get a Ethernet adapter and to plug both of your XDJ 1000s together, and that means that you can plug in your USB to one of them and the other one will be able to see the music from it. So that's probably a good idea. So that's just basically an Ethernet switch and 2 Ethernet cables, cost you like $15. So once you've done that, you're going to have they call it PC Pro or Pioneer DJ Pro Link or something. Pro DJ Link, that's what they call it. But basically it's Ethernet. So 2 Ethernet cables, an Ethernet adapter box, plug it in, and then those 2 XDJs will talk to each other. But no, you don't need an audio interface at all for that. If you did want to use DJ software like Tractor or Serato or whatever with any controller, if there isn't a audio interface built into the mixer, then you definitely need to have an audio interface in order to do that. You know, most mixers nowadays do have audio interfaces built into them, but the Zone 92 is an analog mixer, so it doesn't. So yes, you would need a audio interface to use that with DJ software. Cool. So I hope that answers your question on that one, Mugan. Hello to Salvation, Drum and Bass. Hi to Mixmaster G and to John, to Jai Panade. John says, happy Friday for me. So you're clearly over there in the other half of the world where you're a bit ahead of us. Lucky you. Birchie, however, isn't. Birchie is in Wigan. Not so far from Manchester, where I'm from. Hello, Birchie. And DJ John is down there in Florida enjoying the sunshine. Lots of you just really pleased about the fact that we've got this Jazzy Jeff course coming up. Yeah, we're so excited about it. Jazzy Jeff is the perfect combination of technical skills and good taste. And Q Point says, that's great that you can finally finish the Jazzy Jeff course. Yeah, you know, we're blessed to be making it at all. It will happen right. It might take a bit longer than we were planning before COVID, but it will happen right when it happens, and we're looking forward to it. So Craig says, hi Phil and all. One of the DJs on YouTube was comparing stems on DJ, Virtual DJ and other online software. There was noticeable difference in quality. So stems are not there yet. Other was better. I'm not sure what you mean by that last bit, but basically what we're talking about here is DJ software or DJ systems or production systems, because it's not always DJ software, that can remove the vocals, the drums, the bass, the melodies from your music in order to give you an a cappella, a drum track or whatever. And so yes, the quality does just change with these things. There's a few systems out there. There's a system that to go into the technicalities of it, you know Deezer, which is like Spotify or Tidal. Deezer released a piece of software that can do this and gave it free to the world, and lots of people built systems around that. So if you go online and it says, hey, we can extract your a cappella for you, a lot of them are using the Deezer system, but other people have developed their own. And there is difference between all the different ways of extracting a cappellas from your finished songs, if you like. So the idea of this is that you don't need to have official studio a cappellas or all that. You can just go and do it yourself, which is really, really cool. You know, it's awesome that you can do that. However, All that said, there is a difference in quality between the different systems, and also just between the way you set them up. So some of them have got extra buttons and sliders that you can use, and also there's a difference in quality depending on what type of music you throw at them. Some are better at different types of music than others. So it is worth playing with them, but you're never going to get a perfect studio a cappella out of any of these systems. It's like, if you remember back in the day when time stretching was new, where you could like slow a song down or speed it up without the pitch changing, it sounded a bit ropey. Now it sounds really, really good on the best systems. And I think that's what's happening with this. We're at the beginning of this live extraction of vocals and drums and so on from tracks, and it's moving forward at the moment very, very quickly in leaps and bounds. So the exciting thing is that it's getting better very, very fast. I think that's the point there, Craig. It's getting better really fast. So it's awesome. It's a great development, a great part of where DJing is going. I mean, today I found myself, just for fun, I have on my desk here, literally on my desk, I have plugged in a little Pioneer DDJ 200. It just sits on the desk. I do my work every single day, but that sits on the desk there. It's not in my way. It doesn't get in the way of my keyboard. It's just sat there. And I have Rekordbox on my big work computer as well. And just when the mood takes me, I power up that controller and I do some DJing and some messing around. And while Pioneer's Rekordbox software can't extract acapellas, it's very easy for me to quickly grab an acapella from something and throw it into Rekordbox, which is exactly what I do. And just today, I was messing around with that. I had the vocal from Don Henley's Boys of Summer, and I slowed it down a lot so it fitted over a 120 BPM house track, and I processed it extremely heavily, put a transform effect on it and an echo on it, and had it drop behind some progressive house. I was trying to do like a credible remix of Boys of Summer, unlike the kind of like very fast pop remix that was done 20 years ago, I think, by someone. And it was awesome fun. It is good fun being able to hear something in your head, hear a vocal from an old song from the 80s and throw it over a modern track just because you think they might go well together, and do this in like a 10-minute lunch break, which is what I was doing. This wasn't possible even a year ago, or certainly even a couple of years ago. It's great. It's brilliant that you can do this stuff. So it's definitely the way DJing is going, real-time separation of music, but it's still in its infancy, and it's going to improve very, very fast. Thank you, Charithri, for your kind comments there. And so the next question is a great one. Thank you for asking this question from Technobeat TV. What's the difference between normalizing and limiting a track? I'm still training my ears to hear the nuances for edits and music producing. Right, okay. So normalizing and limiting both give you a essentially louder version of the track. So let's say you load a track up and it's not very loud, and so you say, okay, I'm going to fix this, and you go and load that track up into a wave editor. Like Audacity is a wave editor. Audacity is just a really simple little program which you can get for free for Mac and for Windows and so on, and it will let you load an MP3 up and make it louder basically, and do loads of other stuff with it. I'll show you Audacity. This is what it looks like. Here's Audacity. So let's say I wanted to load an MP3 up onto Audacity and do something to it. I'm going to go and find an MP3 now. In fact, let me just go back to there. Let me just go back to me chatting to you. I'll go and find an MP3 off my big screen because that's just confusing for everyone else. Let me just go into my music. My music is all over the place nowadays, so I'm not particularly proud to say. So let me find a track I've added recently to my music. Right, okay, there's just a random track I'm going to make a copy of. I'm doing all this in the background. Just trying to copy a track. How can I copy that? It's all very exciting, this, isn't it, people? It's confusing me because all my music's in Dropbox at the moment. That is confusing me a bit, but never mind. I'll do it anyway. I might have to put it back into Dropbox afterwards. Let me just drag this onto my desktop. Okay, right, we're there, people. and I'm going to load that onto there. I'm doing all this in the background, but in a minute you will, and then I'm going to now just replace that in Dropbox. Press Control and Z there. This is great fun, isn't it, people? Right, done. Sorry about that, but we're live, and live means that I have to do stuff in the background live so you can see. Right, we've got something loaded up now on this Mac. That's not it again. Let's go back to there. That's my big list of stuff. Let me go back to here. Here we go. Right, now this track here, I'm just going to do something to it in the background in order to show you what I mean. I'm going to make it a lot quieter. Right, so let's say that you've loaded a track up and it looks like this, right? This is quite quiet. This audio is quite quiet. All this area around here and here is where the audio could be if it was nice and loud, right? So we can go into the settings and we can go to something called Normalize to fix that. So I'm going to go into the effects here. In fact, I'm just going to highlight the whole track. I'm going to go into effects and I'm going to select Normalize. Now this is a big screen so you probably can't see that, but trust me, I'm selecting something called Normalize. Now look what happens to the track. I'm going to click OK. Watch what happens to the track. See how that got really loud? See how that waveform got really big? What it's done is take the loudest parts of that track and make them as loud as possible. So where my cursor is now, that was the loudest part of the smaller track. That's what it looked like before, and that's what it looks like now. See, this was still the loudest part of the track, and it made that as loud as possible, like this. And in the meantime, these are the quietest parts of the track. It made those louder too, but only in relation to these. So in other words, this has been made as loud as possible, and if that was made like 20% louder, so was this. Okay, so overall the track sounds the same, but it's just louder. Now, if you applied a limiter to this, what's going to happen is it's going to make the louder parts of the track effectively quieter. And so what happens then is that the quieter parts of the track in relation to the louder parts of the track are a bit closer to the louder parts of the track. In other words, the difference between the quietest parts and the loudest parts is reduced. So with a limiter, the difference between the loudest parts of the track and the quietest parts of the track is reduced. With a normalization function, they both remain in relation to each other exactly the same. So in other words, with normalizing, the track just gets louder. With limiting, the track gets even louder because it's not only making it as loud as possible without distortion, but then it's making the quieter parts a bit louder again. Limiting has got two uses. It can be used in order to just make the whole track sound louder. Like say you're listening to a track, it's very similar to something called compression. Say you're listening to a track in a car on the radio and there's background noise and people talking. They deliberately make radio edits of songs so that even the quiet bits are quite loud, so that they cut through the noise on the radio. Therefore, it makes it overall sound a lot louder, but at the expense of what's called dynamic range. And dynamic range is the difference between the quiet parts and the loudest parts. In a club, you don't need that. In a club, it's so loud anyway that you want there to be a big difference between the loud parts and the quiet parts, but that wouldn't work so well on a radio edit. So club edits tend to have more of this dynamic range going on in it. The more you limit a track, the more fatiguing it is to listen to because there's no breaks. It's all loud, even the quiet bits, and it tires your ears. So this is something that has been a trend in music production where nowadays stuff is compressed and limited right to the limits of what is possible. Just so you know, if everyone's doing it and your track doesn't do it, your track will sound quite quiet on the radio and so forth compared to everyone else's. But the difference between normalizing and limiting is normalizing doesn't change how the track sounds. It just makes it as loud as possible within what's possible in a digital file. Whereas limiting does that, and then it makes the loud bits, the quieter bits, a bit louder as well. I hope I explained that all right. And sorry for having to go and you know, what's the word I'm looking for? On the fly create an example there for you, but I hope that was useful. Right, okay. I need to find a smoother way of doing that. I need to find a smoother way of switching to stuff on the desktop to show you things. I will work on that for these broadcasts. Right, next live question is it's just a hello from Salvo. It says, hello to everybody. I'm having a lunch break here in Toronto and I got you live again. I'm the one who took a couple of days off to watch you live. By today, I got you on my lunch break. Well, good. I'm glad about that. I'm glad that you don't have to take time off work to watch these. So, Birchie, I don't know the answer to your question. Best value for money DJ pool for hard house and techno. I would say you're probably best using Beatport to find that stuff, because download pools tend to be more commercial music. However, Birchie is over on YouTube, and so if you're on YouTube and you've got a suggestion for Birchie, then please do chat to him or her over there in order to help out. John's another thumbs up for Jazzy Jeff there. Cherry3 says, as a DJ streamer on Twitch, how do you get the audio to stay on throughout all scenes if you're using multiple scenes? So it doesn't matter where you're going live. This is down to your broadcast software. So if you're using, for instance, OBS, then you have to tell OBS that you want to use the audio source on not just the main scene, but on other scenes. And so it's just a setup issue. It's easy to solve, but it's a setup issue. Just make sure you've got the correct audio turned on all the scenes you want to use there. We do have a massive tutorial on how to set up live streaming on all systems. If you want to know about that, head over to the Digital DJ Tips website and go to the search bar at the top here and type in live streaming, or DJ live streaming is probably best. Just type in DJ live streaming, all one word. And somewhere there, you're going to find the ultimate guide to live streaming 2021. Look there, that's got how to get sound right, how to get audio right, how to get video right, what gear to use, what software to use, what accessories you need, the different systems, the different ways of doing it. It's got everything you need to get started live streaming your DJ set. So if this is something you want to do and you've never done it before, there's me setting up a live stream on location, then this is the place to go. Copyright issues, how to promote your live streams, everything that you need is in here, including links to all kinds of other articles and stuff as well. So go take a look at that on the Digital DJ Tips website. So next live question. We are live for the next half hour, about halfway through. Hope you're having fun, people. Do make sure to follow this page and share if you enjoy what you're seeing, especially if you're watching the replay, because if you follow us, we can inform you when we go live with these things. But you need to be a follower, stroke a subscriber for us to do that. So do that. So this is from Jonas, who says, I'm exploring the new Shazam feature of DJ Pro AI. Is it possible to save the Shazammed track to a playlist? So this is something that was announced this week, which is that you can now Shazam tracks directly in Algorithm's iOS DJ software. So on an iPhone and an iPad, you can literally just click Shazam this track, and it very cleverly will then load that track onto a deck and have that track playing for you in time with the version that's playing on in the air, in the music you're listening to. So you can then immediately, for instance, use their stems tools that we were talking about a minute ago to extract the acapella and to start DJing with it. And also, because it's got AI auto mix, it can start suggesting other tracks that are like that one. So if you hear a genre you don't know, Shazam it, put your headphones on, start DJing with that track. Auto Mix AI will automatically pick other tracks, and it can even start mixing them for you, and then you can take over and have a play yourself, as long as you've got a streaming service in your DJ Pro AI app. So it's really quite cool. I think it does. We haven't had time to play with it yet, but I'm pretty sure it does automatically put them in a tracks I've Shazammed playlist, which is then automatically available to you in the DJ software. And I think from chatting to Kareem, the CEO of DJ, who I talked to about this last week, I think it also can put it into a playlist for you straight away, but I'm not sure. I've not had time to play with it myself, so that is definitely possible. Exactly how it works, I'm not 100% sure. So hello to Kevin up there in Scotland. I hope that helped, Jonas. Hope that at least gave you faith that it is in there. It's definitely in the system. So wow, here's a sorry tale from DJ Roadrunner. Last Sunday night, someone hacked my laptop and took all my music, 14,000 songs. It was disappearing in front of my eyes. What's the best place to go to store my music, and what's a good backup for my music? Well, firstly, I'm very sorry to hear that. It sounds like a pretty full-on hack to have that happening. You know, when it comes to storing your music, it's just a case of being diligent. I think you should have a physical store of your music on a hard drive that's not on the internet and that's in your wardrobe, hidden away somewhere in your house. I think you should have another physical store of your music somewhere else, whether that is on a cloud server like on Dropbox or whatever, or whether that is another physical store in someone else's wardrobe in their house. You should have a copy of it on your laptop, of course. So if you've got 2 or 3 of these things going on, even if what you're talking about happens, you're going to be safe. I'm actually quite excited about the way Rekordbox is using Dropbox at the moment in order to let you have a copy of your music automatically in the cloud. And the reason for that is automatic. Rekordbox, for those of you that haven't heard, it has got a new plan which lets you basically have a Dropbox as part of your Rekordbox subscription. So if you're already subscribed to Rekordbox, they'll add on an unlimited Dropbox for you for what you're already paying for Dropbox every month, basically. And it makes sense because it backs your music up automatically in the background, so you don't have to think about it. And there's a few other features as well. I'm not sure if we've published our Rekordbox piece yet. We've got a piece coming up about that. In fact, I think it's coming up next Monday. I think we're going to be publishing our full review of it. There's a news piece already over on Digital DJ Tips about this, but we haven't published our review of it yet. That's coming up on Monday coming, I think. So it does look like good value if you already pay a Rekordbox subscription and you've already got a subscription to Dropbox. And this is a great backup solution. So I recommend that if you are those 2 things, you're already a Rekordbox user and you already use Dropbox, because it just does it automatically in the background. There are other ways, but the thing is, with any backup solution, it's only as good as you remembering to do it, which is why I do like the auto stuff. But if other people have got backup solutions, they can suggest to DJ Roadrunner, do it in the comments, and I'll try and share them before the end. Steve is loving DJ Scooby as a DJ name there. Yeah, it did stick for a while in the south of Spain, DJ Scooby for me, but no longer. Christian's got a curious question here. Is it still possible to use a sound card based mixer or controller without connecting it to the speakers? What for, Christian? Yeah, it'll work fine. I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but yes, it is totally possible to do that. If you're thinking about like DJing through it, then you'd have to connect the master outputs to your headphones somehow. You could probably do some clever routing in your laptop to do that, or just plug your headphones into it and then use the headphones master Q knob to turn to master, and then you're going to hear what everyone else is hearing. Yeah, I'm not sure what you are trying to do there, but yes, in theory that would definitely be possible. You can definitely do what you're talking about there. Rodex says, Dear Phil, some videos you showed a blurred Prime 4 a little while ago, but I can't find a video relating to any changes to the Prime 4. What happened? Can only tell you what is out in public, Rodec. But all I will say is that Denon DJ and the makers of the Prime gear are always updating their systems. And there's always stuff around the corner from these manufacturers. Keep an eye on Digital DJ Tips for further news. The next live question we have, so someone in my team can stop the person spamming our comments. You are not going to help your cause by doing that. That is the bad way to promote yourself, because no one's interested in what you've got to say and everyone here is interested in getting help with their DJing. Don't do that, and there's a lesson to everyone else. The next live question that isn't being spammed, and that's only happening on YouTube, by the way, so over on Facebook we're good. Steve says, Hi Phil, are you able to briefly describe what method you use when you're looking for tracks which mix together well? Am I able to briefly describe that? Yes, I am. So all I can describe, for the sake of brevity, is how I do it on my bi-weekly mixes, on my fortnightly DJ mixes. So on my fortnightly DJ mixes, I will use my streaming services, Spotify, Beatport Link, so on, to find tracks I like. Then I'll sit down on a Saturday, for instance, and I'll listen to all the tracks that I liked. So I click the like button on, and I'll say, can I use this? Is this something I'd like to DJ with? And if it is, I'll go and buy them. And then I'll throw them all into my DJ software as my latest tracks. And so now I've got, and normally it's like 20 or 30 new tracks a fortnight. So maybe a track or two a day I'll find that's new. And then I'll go into my DJ software and I'll look at those new tracks and I'll say which ones are the most exciting to me, which ones did I really like. And then I'll maybe load up 2 or 3 of those and I'll try and find a vibe or a feel. It could be dark house, or it could be kind of laid back vocal tracks, or it could be, you know, broken beat stuff, whatever it is that excited me the most. And I'll find 2 or 3 tracks that work well together, and I'll figure out like a 2 or 3 track transition that maybe lasts 10 or 15 minutes. And then I'll look for other tracks that I added in that fortnight, other new tracks that I could either build into from those 3, or I could build up to those 3, depending on whether they're more energetic or less energetic. So I might kind of plan half of my mix, or maybe a bit more, out of the tracks that I bought in that fortnight. And then I'll say, okay, I'm now going to look back in my collection, starting from the stuff I bought the fortnight before, and the fortnight before that, and the fortnight before that, until I've built out the mix with stuff that works with that vibe. Because when I do that, what happens is, you know, so I probably end up taking 7 or 8 or maybe 9 or 10 of that 20 or 30 tunes that I bought that week, and they end up being in the mix, but the other 10 or 20 tunes I bought that week don't end up being in the mix. So they're kind of good for me for future weeks. And then I'll go back and I'll look for stuff that I did that same process with and didn't end up using 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, a year ago. And that way I'll build up a mix which sounds quite coherent for me, but is built up of music that's mainly new, but some of it might be a few months old, some of it might be a year old even. Then I'll end up looking back to my absolute classics, stuff over the decades, and maybe I'll throw in a tune or two from there. So the reason I do it that way is I want to get mainly new music in my mixes, but I'm happy to include older music because you know, I've been DJing a long time, and it's part of my, you know, selling point as a DJ really nowadays is that I've got that knowledge to go back to music from all those decades ago and include it in my mixes. And that's how I plan the mixes that some of you might follow on the Digital DJ Tips channels. Every fortnight I do one of these balcony beats mixes, and that's how I plan them. So if we look at the track listing from the last one I did, for instance, which is here, I can tell you that the first track was a brand new track. The second track, Blasphemous Rumours by Depeche Mode, clearly a very old track from the 80s. And this was a new track. This wasn't a new track, but it was quite new. This was a new track. That track's been knocking around in my DJ box or my crate for a long time, and I've been trying to fit it in. That's from this year though. These were 2 new tracks. That was a newish track. This one was a bit older, but it was from this year. This is a track from back in the 1990s, so that's not new. This is a track that I just love that I put in. It's the second time it's been in one of my balcony beats mixes, so that's from about 6 months ago. And then that track was new. These 2 tracks were just nice, happy-ish vocal tracks that I just wanted some vocally tracks to end on. So these kind of broke the style of the rest of the mix, but hey, at this point in the mix we're all kind of having fun. They're kind of end of night tracks that I just changed the style to add. So there's kind of like a little bit of a talk through of how I planned that mix. But here's a little tip for you. If you head over to mixcloud.com/Phil Morse and then click into any of my DJ mixes, there is an explainer of how I plan the mix. So I talk about the background from the mix, and then I show you the track list again, but this time I talk about why I included that track in the mix, why it existed there. So if you want to see how I plan my mixes, just go onto Mixcloud, go to any of the DJ mixes I post there. I post one a fortnight, and then click through to the behind the scenes, and I'll talk to you about the mix in a bit more detail and tell you why I selected those tunes. So yeah, there's a kind of resource there if you like the music I play. But even if you don't, at least it shows you how a DJ, me, plans that stuff. Right, okay, people, let's pull off some more live questions. By the way, if you do enjoy these things, please do follow, please do share, and even better, please do follow Digital DJ Tips. Become our latest member. That's how you get a copy of our book. That's how you get our Tuesday Tips email, which is the best way to improve your DJing, because we link to lots of free stuff, free tutorials, free videos taken from our lessons, from our courses, which you can watch for nothing. So we don't link to that stuff anywhere else. You've got to be a member. So go to that URL to do that. Right, so this is from Nick, who says, I'm having problems exporting tracks from Rekordbox to USB. When I do, tracks don't appear. I'm using Mac Big Sur. So Mixmaster G. Oh, I'm a little bit dyslexic about your second letter there. I know it fully well, but I'm a bit dyslexic with my G's and my J's. You're a G, aren't you, Mixmaster G? Please help this dude out on Mixcloud for me. I'd be very pleased for you to do that. That would help me. Yeah, Mixmaster G, isn't it? Yeah, I sometimes I'm colorblind. I'm sometimes G and J blind, and I always have been. No idea why. That ain't going to change now. I won't worry about it. So yeah, that is a known bug, and there is a fix for it. And Mixmaster G has got your back on that one. So this is from Sergio. What do you think about the wireless XLRs? I think you should always use wires if you can, because it's one less thing to break. I haven't tested the wireless XLRs. Could be a good thing to test, couldn't it? I'm making a note of that. Something for us to do in the future. So the next live question is from Mo. How do you get Serato virtual audio to work with Streamlabs OBS? It should just work. You just set it up and it should be available in Streamlabs OBS as an input. Just follow the Serato instructions on their website. So let me just find that for you. Actually, they've got a really easy article on their website that will help you. So head over to the Serato help pages here and find Getting Serato DJ Pro and Lite Ready to Live Stream, and in there it will talk you through how this happens. So go to Serato support.serato.com and just search for live stream in their search box. I'm sure if you type live stream in there, this is going to be one of the top articles. There we go, there's loads of them there, including this one, Getting Serato DJ Pro and Lite Ready to Live Stream. It's down there. So then you can follow what they say, and that should solve your problem there. Right, let's pull another question out live. If you want to ask a question, hashtag ask. Hashtag ASK. Here's a good one from Davy. To be an international touring DJ, you have to be a good producer making your own good music. Is this true? You have to be someone who's made one good piece of music that was a #1 on Beatport. If you can get yourself a Beatport #1, you will get yourself gigs around the world. That's how it works. You don't need to do anything else. You don't need to be a prolific producer. You just have to brainstorm that one track that goes to the top of the charts, and then with a good team behind you helping you to capitalize on that, you can get gigs all around the world. Now that won't keep you going forever, but it'll keep you going for a while. There's an awful lot of DJs who've got a fair number of gigs under their belt by just having one smash hit. So you've got to have that one smash hit. So it's easier said than done, but you don't have to be making reams and reams of good music. Not at all. You've got to have that one big record. So how are you going to do that? That's the bigger question, right? So the next question is from Jerome, who says, "Hi Phil, do you have some tips for me to get more familiar with using effects? When do you use which effect?" So I'll give you 3 big tips. #1, you don't have to use all the effects. If you master filters and echo, then you're pretty much there with effects. That's enough. So just try figuring out how to use filters and echo first. #2, you don't overuse them. You will find pro DJs do not overuse their effects. They might use filters when they're mixing, as opposed to using EQs when they're blending 2 records together. And they might use echo when they are either ending a track suddenly to mix another one in, or using an a cappella over an instrumental. So 2 ways to use echoes: ending a track quickly and bringing in a new one, or when you're using an a cappella to make the a cappella sound more atmospheric underneath the track that you're playing it, or rather over the track you're playing it with. So if you can master those things, using filters in your beat mixes, using echo on your acapellas, and using echo every now and then to just echo the last beat of a track and then mix another one in, you're going to be doing more than most DJs. So less is more. Don't do it all the time, and just stick to maybe 2. Maybe you want to use a reverb as well. A reverb is another classic way of ending a track. A really big reverb, so that when you stop a track, it kind of carries on for a few seconds. It's a good way of changing genre, because you can then play anything after that. You stop a track, there's a big reverb which goes out and sounds awesome. And by the time that reverb is dying out, everyone's forgotten what track you were playing. You can start any other track playing in any genre, any style. So less is more when it comes to effects. Don't think you have to use them all just because they're there. Far from it. Laurie says, hi Phil, how do you stream when there's no delay at all when you speak? I try to stream, but I get that delay. Any tips? Well, there is a little bit of a delay actually on this because, well, lots of reasons. So what you have to do is go into your software settings, and you have to change the setting which delays the audio against the video. So basically, because the video is going to have a slight delay on it. So that's because your computer's struggling to process the video. So if I were to, I don't think it's easy for me to show you the system I'm going live on at the moment, because I can't show you the windows. No, I can't. It's not letting me do it. But basically, on the system I'm live on now, it's a broadcast software called Ecamm Live. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll quickly screenshot what it looks like, and then I'll show you. That's the best way. I love thinking on my feet. It's good fun, this stuff. Let me see if that works. That's why you get this you get this huge delay while I try and figure it out. Why is it not letting me screenshot that? That's interesting. It's not letting me do a screenshot while I'm live. Oh, it is. Right. Okay, there we go. So on my in my preferences in this particular broadcast software, I have a slider. It's a bit like the slider in your DJ software that decides, the buffer slider that decides how responsive your DJ software is. It's a little bit like that. So now hopefully I can jump to it and show you what it looks like. There we go. It's let me do that. So here, see this? I have this mic delay. I can't show you. Maybe I can. There we go. See, it says mic delay there. I have that set to 6 frames, and that's about quarter of a second delay on my microphone, and that's making the audio a little bit behind the video. And I found this out by trial and error. And the reason we do this is that the cameras here in the studio are not particularly fast, and the software is not particularly fast in bringing all the cameras in and broadcasting it. So if I didn't have that, my mouth would be moving a bit more out of sync than it is with the video. So you need to find that setting in your software for your live streams and just move it, and it means that it will sync up the video and the audio. Maybe on your TV, maybe if you're used to using slightly dodgy sources on your TV at home, there's a similar setting that you could use to balance it, so you can watch your movies that maybe haven't come from the most mainstream sources, shall we say, and you might have come across it in those circumstances as well. So that's the slider that you need to find to do this stuff. Right, live questions, people. This one is from Nick, who says, I'm new to Serato and I've bought a party mix live. So I get a DJ Lite license. You do indeed, which is the stripped down version of Serato. Can I plug in any Serato Lite enabled controller and have it work out of the box? Yes, you can. Serato DJ Lite is free. It will work with any software, any controller that is compatible with Serato DJ Lite, or indeed any Serato controller, because they're all compatible with Serato DJ Lite. So yes, you don't need to use your party mix. You can go to Serato's website and download Serato DJ Lite for free. Anyone can. So there's no problem at all with that. Right then, folks, we are answering all your questions on YouTube, on Twitch and on Facebook. We are simulcasting to all those places. So do just type those questions away underneath and I will try and get them get to them for you. Mel on Facebook, can you recommend a good beginner's controller for DJ AI for my granddaughter, please? Says, and you're in Mel Bosser in Tarifa. Is that the same Tarifa that we have here in... oh no, you are Mel Bosser and you are in Tarifa. So I'm guessing that is the same Tarifa that we have here in the south of Spain, just across the border from us here in Gibraltar. So what I'm going to recommend to you for that is this. I'm just picking it up now to show you. It's a little controller from Reloop. It's called the Reloop Buddy. And the good thing about this is that it's designed for DJ Pro AI. And so assuming your granddaughter's not like 3 years old, because it is a, you know, it's a DJ controller. She could break it if she's a bit too young to use it. Let me just show you on my iPad. Here we go. There's DJ Pro AI. So I've got an iPad in the back here. There's a little lead that plugs from here into the side to power the controller, and that is a complete DJ system there all in one, with the iPad slotting nicely into the back of it there. You get all the powerful stuff we were talking about. You can Shazam tracks, you can chop tracks up, you can get all your DJ services in there, and you can DJ with this unit controlling pretty much everything in Algorithm's DJ Pro AI. It's only 2-channel, it's not 4-channel, but that's okay. It's a really nice, compact, easy to transport DJ device that works with your iPad. So it doesn't need to be an iPad Pro. It works with all iPads that are reasonably modern. So that is the one I would recommend. If you want something that's really, really cool and does everything, the Reloop controller here, the Buddy, Reloop Buddy it's called. Don't by mistake buy the Reloop Ready. This will also work with your DJ Pro AI, but it doesn't have the slot on the back to hold the iPad, which is a little bit less cool. That one is actually designed for Serato. That was designed by our tutor DJ Angelo, who wanted something to prepare his Serato DJ sets when he was on the road, and he realized there wasn't a DJ controller that let him do that, so he designed one with Reloop, and they put it out there. So good on DJ Angelo for doing that. DJ Angelo, by the way, if you love kind of open format DJing, playing R&B and bass, and maybe a bit of Latin, a bit of hip hop, and a bit of pop, a bit of house, mixing them all up, then DJ Angelo is your man, and you should really take a look at the DJ Angelo course that we put out there, because out of all our DJ courses, if you're not an electronic DJ, you know, you're more hip hop, you're more Latin, you're more bass music, you're more trap and all that kind of stuff, the DJ Angelo course is definitely the one. And also, of course, if you're a technical DJ, because DJ Angelo, if you know him, is a very, very technical DJ. Angelo is a scratch DJ, but he's also a DJ that does cue juggling and uses all the modern technology, all the stuff that's on modern controllers, uses the pads, uses the effects. He really is the kind of person who shows off a lot in his DJing. He's got an awful lot of routines that are just brilliant on his YouTube channel. So maybe go check DJ Angelo out. And if you want to learn that kind of open format DJing where you play a bit of everything, that is the Digital DJ Tips course for you. And he designed that controller as well. So there you go. A man with his finger in many pies. Let's pull another live question then, people. We've got about 5 minutes left here, so I'll try my hardest to get to a few more of them. This one is from CoFam, who says, I'm thinking about purchasing a MacBook Pro to use for Serato DJ. What's your experience? Minimum requirements, or should I spec some things up? So I would say definitely go for the M1, basically because you can now. MacBook Pros work fine with the M1 and Big Sur for Serato, so why wouldn't you? You know, the M1s are very, very powerful. As far as the RAM goes, the basic is going to work. I don't think you can get an 8GB M1 Mac. I'm not sure what they are, but 16GB of RAM will work fine. Frankly, I'm going to just check online now. Buy MacBook M1. Click on the first result. 13-inch MacBook Air with an M1 chip is going to have 250. Let's look at it together. Oh no, actually you can get 8 gigabytes of memory. I think this is, man, correct me if I'm wrong, technical people on the call, but I think a MacBook Air, even a MacBook Air with an M1 chip and a 7-core GPU and 8 gigabytes of unified memory, I think that would be absolutely fine for DJ software. I think it's going to be so fast that it's just going to be fine. I haven't tried it. I don't have any M1 Macs to try this stuff on, but I think that would be fine. Certainly a MacBook Pro, I think is going to smash it just with the 8 gigabytes of memory. I really do. If you're going to start using it for production, if you're going to start running Ableton on it, and you're going to start saying, you know what, I can use Ableton Link to do DJing and Ableton at the same time, and start doing hybrid sets and all that stuff, you're going to want more. You're going to want to be moving up to 16 gigabytes of memory. But my hunch is that you're going to be all right with 8 there with an M1 Mac. Correct me if I'm wrong, technical people in the comments, please, but I think you're going to be okay there. So before the end of today's live, in the next 5 minutes, I know I will have people who I know and trust either saying, yep, you're right, Phil, or no, I'd still go for the 16 there. But basically, any modern M1 Mac, even an Air, I think you're going to be fine with there. So I don't think you need to spend anything over. But what I would say is make sure your hard drive is big enough to hold the amount of music you would need. So I would probably spend the extra money on getting a half a terabyte or a terabyte hard drive rather than worrying about the extra RAM in it. That would be how I would approach it. But then I'd go and do the research to check CoFam. So we'll find out for you in a minute. So meanwhile, we'll just answer 1 or 2 more questions before I've got to go today, I'm afraid. Which device do you recommend as a backup in case the laptop freezes? Your phone. Have a mix on your phone. Have the correct lead or the correct adapter to plug into channel 4 or the auxiliary input on your mixer, and just be ready to hit play on your mixer in order to get out of that problem. Is what I would do. I always have my phone ready for exactly that circumstance, Sergio. Thank you for the question. So this is my final question today, and it's a really good one from Rob. So thank you for this over on Facebook. This question for someone like DJ Angelo or other DJs or people like myself looking to progress and grow into something after 5 years on 2-channel. Is staying with 2 channels sufficient, or is 4 the way to go? Pros, cons, and why? This is a really interesting question. Should you DJ on just 2 channels, or should you move to DJing on 4 channels, and why? So, all right then, the DJ device we've got set up here today as our kind of in-house device is this one from Pioneer DJ. It's the XDJ RZ or RZ, which is a 4-channel controller. But guess what? If you're going to plug your USB in, it only actually works on 2 channels. The other channels are there for just backup, really. So this is a debate that goes on in DJing a lot of the time, because if you watch most DJs, and I'm going to stick my neck out here and say most DJs, the vast majority, most DJs only use 2 channels. I do. I never use any more. Some DJs use the other channels, but they're not using them like all the same. They're not having tracks loaded on all 4 channels at once. They might use channel 3 for an a cappella every now and then. They might use channel 4 to have a loop playing sometimes, that they can loop some bongos or some percussion in underneath what's going on the main channels, but they're still going channel 1 to channel 2, channel 1 to channel 2, channel 1 to channel 2 most of the time. They might have a track lined up on one of the extra decks in case everything goes wrong on decks 1 and 2. They really mess a mix up, and then they've got a track lined up they can quickly drop into that they know the crowd loves to get themselves out of that pickle, really. But most DJs, the vast majority, don't touch channels 3 and 4 very often. Angelo, one of the most technically gifted DJs in the world, and if you watch the video for that Angelo course I just showed you, you'll see he never uses any other channels. To him and to every single scratch DJ in the world, 2 channels are enough. And you look at a scratch mixer, this is a extremely expensive, extremely coveted and extremely popular scratch mixer. This is the Rain 70. It's only got 2 channels because DJing traditionally was done on 2 channels, and scratch DJs, even to this day, are happy to do their thing on 2 channels. It's one of those limitations that doesn't really limit you at all. So in truth, Rob, if you've got uses for a 4-channel system, maybe you do want to incorporate other stuff, other instruments, some live stuff, some production stuff, a synthesizer, a drum machine, a sampler on one of the other channels, or maybe you want to start mixing acapellas and you don't want to be rushing to get the acapellas on and off channels 1 and 2, or maybe you like the idea of looping stuff underneath what's going on the other tracks to add some layers of percussion. Yeah, sure, go for 4 channels. Or if you're just DJing with other people and you need those extra channels to plug them in and stuff, or you're DJing with a singer or an MC or whatever, great. But just think it through, because most DJs don't bother, and that's the truth. Right. Oh, and also, we were thinking of Pioneer. It reminded me, because that's a Pioneer piece of equipment. An unnamed rep, might have been from Pioneer, might have been from another company, but an unnamed rep at a big DJ company on the floor of a DJ show once said to me, Phil, 80% of the controllers we sell are 4-channel. But we know 80% of our DJs never touch channels 3 and 4. So they're buying them and never using them. So there you go, Rob. Make of that what you will. Right, people, we're done here. Let me get you that technical feedback on whether it's worth going for an M1 Mac with more than the 8 gigabytes of unified memory. And so what are you saying about this, people? John says, I'm not sure about Mac, but I've got 32 gigabytes of RAM on my Windows and it smashes everything I'm running. Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. I don't have 32 gig in anything I use. So yeah, I can see why, John, that's going to smash everything. Ridiculous in a good way. Sebastian says, my Mac is from late 2018 and it's got 8 gigabytes and I spin 4 decks with absolutely no lag at all on there as well. Sergio says, I've got a 5-year-old laptop with 8 gigabytes and it works absolutely fine as well. So there we go. So pretty much looks like 8 sounds all right. Q point, any M1 MacBook will be fine. 8 gigabytes of RAM is more than enough. Mixmaster G just puts a note of caution. While the M1 Max with Big Saw on will work with Serato DJ fine, just double check that your actual controller is supported on the Serato website before you go and buy. But it looks like everyone is absolutely fine with the idea of using a Mac, any Mac with 8 gigabytes of unified memory. I can't wait till my trusted and completely fine 13-inch MacBook Pro reaches the point where either someone else in the company needs a MacBook and they can inherit this one, or gets a bit long in the tooth and can't do something I want it to do. Because at the moment, this Intel Mac can do everything I need it for. So there's absolutely no point in replacing it. And I will not replace Gear just for the hell of it. But I really want an M1 Mac. I really want to see what they're all about. I think it might be when we can start running like tablet software on our Macs and then DJing with it. I think that'd be when I take the plunge in order to review that kind of software when it appears and so on. But I can't justify it yet. I just can't. Anyway, we've all been in that position, haven't we? Wanting the new gear, but having to rationalize it and talk to ourselves about it and say, no, not yet. Especially now, because now there is a real shortage of gear going on. I was talking to my friend Dan White over at DJ Tech Tools. Of course, DJ Tech Tools, as well as being a great DJ website, is also a store, so they know this stuff. And actually, he was telling me that DJ gear prices are definitely going up, and DJ gear supplies are definitely low. And this is Tech Tools. This is them talking about that. And they've got a really interesting article over there about why this is happening and what we should be looking to do as DJs if we do want new gear at the moment, because it's going to be, especially this coming Thanksgiving, this coming Black Friday and so on, and then into Christmas, and which is usually the busiest time for buying gear, is going to be very different to previous years. And they've got some advice over there on buying digital DJ gear over the coming months, because the semiconductor shortage and lots of other things are kind of conspiring into a perfect storm, not just for DJ gear, but across the supply chain for all kinds of stuff at the moment. I personally feel we might be entering an age where we can't have what we want when we want it all the time at the cheapest possible price. And I personally feel that's probably a good thing, because there's no such thing as a zero cost or a very, very low cost product. The costs are hidden somewhere else and all that stuff. But anyway, we're 5 minutes over, and I don't want to get into a debate around that stuff now. But do go and look at that article on DJ Tech Tools if you find the need to buy gear and you're wondering why you can't find it online, or if you can, it's very expensive. Right, we're done here, people. Thank you very much for being with us for the last hour. Lou says, as always, Phil, thanks for your time and your help. That's fine. Thank you very much for being here. More than that. So Mel says, Apple, take note. Free one on the way, Phil. We're not that in with Apple, unfortunately, to get free gear. Maybe at some point in the future. Hello, Gerald, over there in North Las Vegas. Anyone else who's just joined us recently, by the way, you can watch the replay on our YouTube and Facebook pages. So if you missed all of this, watch the replay over there. And thank you, everyone, for all your kind thoughts and suggestions. Remember, if you want to enter that quiz, that free prize draw to win a DJ Jazzy Jeff lesson, a special lesson just for you, head over to our digitaldjtips.com website, and when you get there, scroll down to win a one-on-one DJ lesson with Jazzy Jeff. We've got 3 DJ lessons to give away with Jazzy Jeff to celebrate the DJ Jazzy Jeff How to DJ Right course that we're making with him right now. So head over there, click on it, put your best email in there and click Yes Jeff, I want in, and we will enter you in the prize draw, and we'll let you know about that prize when it's announced at the end of the year. You also get a free copy of the course, and even if you don't win, we will give you a special offer on that course when it comes out, just as a thank you for entering. So nothing to lose, everything to gain. Right, I'm out here now, folks. Get good, get out there, make the moments, and I will see you next Tuesday for Tuesday Tips Live, and next Thursday for another one of these. Till then.